Hi guys, how's it going? Um, as I probably mentioned in another of my videos that I was going to do a short review and a video on the Deepsea and how it looks on smaller wrists, which are around 6.5 and 6.75 inches for you guys to see and compare how that would sit on your wrist. I have the Deepsea in front of me, which is the James Cameron version. Obviously, the one that's now shouldn't really say discontinued. It's now upgraded with some finer details and additions to it, especially with the bracelet, which is a bit wider than this one to make it suit with the bigger case size. So what essentially I'm trying to achieve from this video is I'm just going to pretty much show you how it sits on my wrist, which is 6.5 or 6.6 inches, and then I'll leave it with you guys to decide if you wanna buy it for your wrists if you have around the same size wrist, and you can maybe have a bit of understanding. So I have obviously unboxed it already. I actually bought it a few weeks back. So as you can probably see, it's obviously a gorgeous. I am a big fan of this this gradient blue dial, which I'll just take this off now. I'll also just remove it from the background so my camera isn't focusing incorrectly. Let's remove this one. So yeah, so it definitely is an absolutely gorgeous dial. It is not showing all the details about how the color is changed from blue to black when it goes from up to all the way down to the bottom of the dial face. But yeah, that's and it looks kind of black because of the light that I'm having at the moment, which is a bit dim. So yeah, I'm wearing my GMT right now, and I'll probably do a bit of quick face-to-face comparison of these two for you guys to understand the difference. But yeah, that's the GMT, which sits pretty nicely on the wrist. And what I'll do is I'll just change this to Deepsea, so you can just probably it might be a good idea to actually show you side by side shots before I put it back on my wrist. So yeah, now you can see that obviously Deepsea being 44 mil and GMT being 40 mil, there's a quite a drastic difference between these two. And then as you can probably see, this is the dome, the crystal, which is the crystal is flat, and this is the domed crystal. So it's probably 5 mils thick, this one is, and that one is obviously standard. I absolutely love the dial on the GMT, but again, that's probably next to it. It's probably a bit more clear how it goes from blue to black, and this obviously is flat black. And then you can see obviously the bezel is different, and the bracelets are obviously, this is polished and this is all brushed and clasped. This being glide lock system, obviously it's bigger in length. Quickly showing you the wrist shot, or the right. So there it is. Surprisingly, to me, it doesn't really feel too bad. As you can see, the lugs are still not sticking out of my wrist, which is, again, my wrists are pretty small, being literally 6.5 inches in circumference, and then you can see that that's the Deepsea, and it doesn't really feel too bad. I think it's essentially the thickness which probably is a bit of concern for some of the people, because it is definitely some big chunky piece, and it is like that's like 18 mils in thickness. But the top view is not bad at all, as you can see. And I'm like 6'2" in height, so with my obviously bigger hands, you can see that it doesn't really look too inappropriate or out of proportion. And even if you disregard the size of obviously the fact that I have big hands, just compare that with the wrist, which is pretty slim in its profile, it still doesn't stick out of my wrist on either side, and it wears pretty nicely, as you can see. So yeah, I do read all the reviews on internet with regarding this being only a usable or considerable option for people who have probably more than 7.5 inches of wrist circumference. But I respect all those opinions, but I'm happy with how it wears on my wrist. And honestly speaking, even if it wears bigger, I don't really care, because I love the dial it has, and I've purely bought it for my eyes because it is beautiful. Honestly, you've got to see this dial in reality to understand how beautiful that dial is, from and the way it changes the color from blue to black, and the finish it has, the matte finish, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I will leave this with yourselves to decide. Probably before I let you go, I'll just show you that this is what I mean when I say that it is actually pretty thick. So but yeah, again, not really too concerning for me. I like it being a bold sort of watch and a statement watch. When you're wearing it, it speaks for itself. And if it does seem to do the thing for you, there's no reason you shouldn't be grabbing one, because I absolutely love it. And yeah, as you can probably see, that even though it is 44 mil, like 4 mil above this standard 40 mil Rolex Sports, doesn't look drastically or ridiculously bigger than the 40 mil one. And yeah, so if you can take the additional thickness, I think it's not going to be, it's not going to be a showstopper for you. But I understand why people don't really prefer this one, because with the business sort of shirts and the wearing, your shirt won't really you won't be able, your cuffs won't really pass over this big thing, because it's pretty chunky. So alright guys, instead of like extending or prolonging the video any longer, I'll just conclude the video here, showing you another wrist shot of how it wears, and I'll leave this with you guys to decide. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you have any comments, in fact, if you have any queries, leave them below, and I'll definitely be able to assist. Just if you think if it's not appropriate on my wrist, it's too big, probably don't bother leaving a comment, because I'm not going to sell it just because you don't like it, because I love it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See ya. Bye.